Kanye West, a very...
may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
interesting person to say the absolute least. He's known for many things, and unfortunately, almost none of them are good nowadays. He has a tendency to say stuff that contains image in mere seconds. Like that time he said,
every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Or when he took to Twitter in February of this year and went on a 3-month-long rant about a certain mustached man. But despite all his faults, he is still known as one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. He has groundbreaking production, clever lyricism, and a near-flawless discography. As Kendrick Lamar once said in an unreleased song, sometimes it's best to separate the art from the artist. And when we do, we get some truly beautiful art. Art that changed my life. Which is why, in this video, I'll be doing a tier list over all of Kanye West's major studio albums, from the College Dropout all the way to Vultures 2. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are doing yet another tier list. So as usual, I have labeled the tier list from S to F, with S being the best of the best, and F being absolute trash. Pretty straightforward. So let's just start with his debut studio album, The College Dropout. This was the first studio album released by Kanye West in 2004. And is it good? Hell yes. The College Dropout is often considered one of the best debut albums of all time, and one of the best albums ever in general. It's very good. But what do I think of it? Well, as I already said, The College Dropout, it's near flawless. It's an incredible album. I like this album a lot. Now, this is going to be a take that some of you are going to find very controversial. I think it's a bit overrated. Okay, you can unsubscribe, dislike the video, go flame me in the comments, I don't care. That's just my opinion. I do not think... Actually, that's a lie. It's a 10 out of 10 album, but you may be saying, E-Jumper, if it's a 10 out of 10 album, then why do you think it's overrated? Well, in my opinion, there are 3 tiers of 10 out of 10, and 1 being the highest. This is a tier 3. I think Kanye has better 10 out of 10s. Does that make sense? No? Okay, got it. I don't care. College Dropout is good. It's still S tier, but he has better albums. It is not his best album, and I highly disagree on that fact. But it is very, very good. Do not get me wrong. The production is pretty unique, especially for the time it came out. It was very revolutionary, just all around. His lyricism was great. The skits were kind of funny, although I think there's a little too many skits. There's some just real bangers on there. You got All Falls Down, Slow Jams, Breathe In, Breathe Out. That's not like my favorite song. I just couldn't think of any more to say, but it's a great album. Let's not brush past that fact. Just because I think it's overrated doesn't mean it's not good. It's still it's still close to, if not a 10 out of 10 album, which is why I'm putting it in S tier. Next, we have Late Registration. This album released in 2005, and it's essentially seen as a sequel to The College Dropout in all intents and purposes. And what do I think of Late Registration? I think it's better than The College Dropout. I know, unsubscribe, dislike, leave a mean comment. I don't care. This album is honestly one of my favorite albums of all time, and that means something to me. This album means something to me. Unlike College Dropout, there's more bangers. And you may say, oh, E-Jumper, wouldn't it be better to have better lyricism than just more bangers? Yeah, it would. But then again, for Late Registration, we have Gold Digger, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, Roses, Heard 'Em Say. This album just has so many instant playlist ads, and that's usually what I'm looking for when I listen to music. Don't get me wrong, College Dropout has those, but Late Registration, in my opinion, has all that plus 10. I truly think this is better than College Dropout. I really, really like this album. It is just an amazing album. Even Gold Digger, people say is the worst song on there. Do I agree with that? Absolutely not. But if that's the worst song, then this is just a phenomenal album, because Gold Digger is amazing. I think it's one of the better songs off the album, but, some people think popular automatically equals bad, and then they'll give it a bad score. Not me. I think Gold Digger is amazing, but anyway, I'm getting off track here. S tier, hands down, better than College Dropout all day, every day. Next up, we have the album every insane Kanye fan uses as an excuse whenever he says something crazy on Twitter. Graduation is perhaps Kanye's most famous album and his most well-known album. chances are that whenever you think of Kanye West, you think of Graduation. Released in 2007, this album is pretty much just an absolute staple of hip-hop. It's hard to be in the community at all without even hearing a single song from this album. I mean, this album is the definition of a classic. And College Dropout and Late Registration, they're both definitely classics, but don't get me wrong. Graduation is a true classic. I mean, we have I Wonder, Flashing Lights, Good Morning, Big Brother, just some all-around phenomenal, top-shelf Kanye music. But here's where my controversial opinion comes in. I don't know why I can't talk today. Here's where my controversial opinion comes in. It's the worst of the College trilogy. I know. Like I said earlier, dislike, leave a mean comment, unsubscribe, do it. But let's not forget this album also has Drunken Hot Girls and Barry Bonds, and those are two, they're still like C-tier Kanye songs, but on an album as great as Graduation, it bumps it down a little bit, don't you think? Regardless, Graduation is a phenomenal album, and in many ways it is better than College Dropout, and honestly I think these two are on the same footing. The only reason I put it below College Dropout is because College Dropout has less skips, and Graduation, I mean, it's got some skips. Agree to disagree, but to me, Barry Bonds is an absolute snooze fest. I don't think Drunken Hot Girls is that bad, but Barry Bonds can put me to sleep, honestly. God. But like I said, Graduation is still a phenomenal album, and it's a classic for a reason, which is why it's still going in S tier. So around this time, Kanye was going through the motions. His mother, Donda West, had previously died, and many say that this is what kind of started him to spiral a little bit, and I agree. I saw this really funny and also clever video. I'll put the link in the description, where it was this guy comparing Kanye West to Anakin Skywalker, and I think that could not be more true. He is pretty much the real life Darth Vader, because when Anakin's mother died, anyway, I'm not going to talk about Star Wars. It's not a Star Wars video, but 808s and Heartbreaks was the first album Kanye made in sort of an iffy mental state, and it's reflected in the album's themes, its emotions, its whole core, the way it sounds. It's a very emotionally heavy album, even if it's not particularly that sad. 808s and Heartbreaks has always been kind of divisive too. This is honestly one of the most influential albums of all time. I mean, it's in the title, 808s. This started like the whole using 808s in hip hop. That's where this started. 808s and Heartbreaks. It's in the name. But it's always kind of a divisive album. There are some people that really love this album and some people that really hate it, and some people that just say it's okay. Personally, I lean closer to it's amazing, but it's still not great, if that makes sense. I don't think it's mid, I definitely don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's amazing. I think it's just good, which is why I'm going to put it in B tier. This album is pretty different compared to Kanye's previous three albums. I mean, the College trilogy was something truly special, and then going to this album right after, there's going to be a little bit of whiplash here and there. I mean, it starts off with a very calm, just kind of smooth sound. This album takes itself slow. It's like a good brisket. It just marinates. I don't know what I'm saying, but this album likes to take things slow, and that's one thing I do kind of like about it. This is just a chill album to just throw on. Maybe you're having a bad day, throw this album on, it'll make you feel better, I promise. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But once again, it's in the title, Heartbreaks. This album's a little bit more emotional than Kanye's previous albums, and probably still his most emotional album, besides another one on this tier list I'll get to in a second. But regardless, 808s is a pretty good album. There's definitely quite a few skips on here, probably more skips than any of the albums mentioned previously. But it's very unique. Kid Cudi is on it a lot, and I love Kid Cudi. I think his features are amazing. Heartless is a very good song despite how popular it is. I don't care if it's his most popular song. It is amazing. I love that song. Pinocchio Story is probably his saddest song ever. I don't care. Everyone always says it sucks because it's like 10 minutes long. You're a fucking baby if you think that. I'm sorry. Pinocchio Story is beautiful, and if you hate it, you're kind of missing the whole point. But all around, it's a pretty solid album. There's just nothing too special on it, if you get what I mean. And especially coming off of Graduation, one of his best albums, it can be seen as a little weaker, but to call it a bad album would be pretty disgraceful, to be honest. But now that we're past 808s and Heartbreaks, we get into what is potentially what's usually seen as Kanye's magnum opus, and that's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This album is special. I mean, I called Graduation a classic earlier, but this also applies to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This album is widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time, and I could not agree more. This is my favorite album, period, like ever. It's either this or Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. Depends on how I'm feeling that day, but usually I'm going to go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. There is not a... If you don't count the outro, there's not a single skip on this entire album. This album is, in my opinion, absolutely flawless. There is virtually nothing wrong with this album. I love this album to death. It is incredible. And it also holds a pretty big place in my heart too, not just because it's my favorite album of all time, but because it's one of the first rap albums I've ever listened to. My friend put me onto this album, and because we were at like a party or something, and he had an Alexa, and he was just putting on some songs. We were playing, I think, the Wii or something. I don't know what we were doing. We were playing video games, something like that. And he put on. He's a huge rap fan. He's liked rap way before me, but he's the one who put me onto rap because I always felt like I didn't have enough to talk about with him, because he's a very, this is going to sound silly, he's a very cultured person. I'm not going to say I'm uncultured, but at the time I was. So like whenever we started talking about rap, I was like, you know what, I might as well start listening to some hip-hop, some rap, and see how it goes. And now I'm a huge rap fan. It's like the only genre I listen to. But anyway, this album was his favorite, now it's my favorite. But one day we were at a party playing some video games, he put Dark Fantasy on the intro track, and I was like, dude, okay, yeah, I'm listening to this when I get home. And so I did, and now it's my favorite album of all time. So not only is it completely flawless, it also holds a very, very special place in my heart. This album is something. It's something. So I'm going to put it in S tier. I just truly don't think it gets better than this. I think this is his best album, hands down. Better than Late Registration, better than College Dropout, better than Graduation, better than every album on this list. It is something. I mean, you've got Dark Fantasy, Gorgeous, Runaway, Devil in a New Dress, which is, in my opinion, is one of his best songs of all time. Like, even some of the weaker tracks, like Hell of a Life, are just absolute bangers. The weakest song on this album is like an 8 out of 10 at minimum. It is just, I love this album. I cannot state how much it means to me. I really can't, but for now, top of S tier, Kanye's best album for me. Next we have Yeezus. Okay. I wouldn't say Yeezus is divisive necessarily, but it is an album that has to grow on you. Earlier this year, when I was going through Kanye's entire discography, I got to Yeezus, and my initial reaction when I finished the album was, what was that? I was kind of surprised. I was expecting... The problem is, I had never really heard anything from Yeezus. Every album prior, I had heard at least one or two tracks. I hadn't heard a single track from Yeezus other than On Sight. And I thought On Sight was just kind of like a joke song, you know, whatever, throw it out there. But I was pretty, not necessarily disappointed, but a little taken aback when I finished the album, and I didn't really like it that much. Don't get me wrong, I liked it, but I didn't love it like I thought it would. Fast forward to now, as of recording this, it's July. What do I think of it now? I think it's borderline S tier, if not S tier, and I cannot believe I didn't like it at first. Actually, that's not true. I can believe I didn't like it at first. The thing with Yeezus is that it's Kanye branching out, trying new things, being experimental with his production, and that's what this album does best. It experiments. It has phenomenal production, just some of the most insane production you will ever hear from Kanye West. And that's saying something, because he's an amazing producer, don't get me wrong. But this album has some of his best production of all time. But this album has to grow on you. It has to age like a fine wine. Because at first you might not understand it. You might be coming in expecting more like Graduation, more like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, more like the College Dropout. But then you get Yeezus, and it's different. But different's not bad, especially not in this case. Yeezus is great. It is a great, 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 great album. But it has to grow on you first. A lot of people that listen to it first, they think it's mid. I did too. I didn't think it was mid, I just didn't think it was like that good. Now, I mean, this honestly might be one of my most listened to Kanye albums. You got New Slaves, Blood on the Leaves, Bound to, Guilt Trip, just banger after Black Skinhead, banger after banger after banger after banger. This album is just like, it really pumps you up. It's full of hype songs. It's full of bangers. It's brash, bold, and it's not afraid to branch out and try new things. And that's why it's so good. I don't think it's an S tier because there's one or two songs I'm kind of iffy on still. But once you really take the time to let this album grow on you, you come out loving it. And that's what I've done with Yeezus. This album is just a blast. It is so fun. But just because there's the fact that there's a couple skips on there, I'm going to have to put it in A tier. I think I skipped Watch the Throne. I don't exactly know when it came out, but whenever it did, I don't know if it was before Yeezus or after Yeezus. I that's like the only album I'm not very familiar with. I listened to it fairly recently. I skipped it during my original listen to his whole discography because I didn't think it was that important, and I came out confirming that basically. There are some people that really like this album. This one's not for me. It's not bad, not in any way, shape, or form, but the whole thing sounds very disingenuous, unauthentic, fake. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of a letdown. You think Kanye and Jay-Z equals masterpiece of an album, right? They've worked together before on Late Registration and I think on College Dropout, but then you hear that they're making a collab album. Imagine being a Kanye fan in the early 2010s and hearing that Jay-Z and Kanye West are collabing together. You are probably so excited. You're probably thinking this is about the album of the century. And then you go into it and you get corny lyrics, weird beats, bland tracks, like a ton of skips. It's just a big letdown. It is not a bad album. There are some amazing songs. Otis, Fellas in Paris. I don't think that song's overrated. I think it's pretty good. But as a whole, the best way I can describe this album is like if Yeezus in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy had a Nepo baby. It's very disingenuous sounding. It's messy. It's corny. It's bland. It's just everything a Kanye and Jay-Z album should be. So it's a big letdown, but it's not bad. There are definitely some standout tracks, and the production is kind of cool at times. But yeah, it's pretty middle of the road for me. It's like a C tier. So after Watch the Throne or Yeezus or whatever the hell came first, Kanye fans were kind of in a pickle here because at this point it's been 3 or 4 years, no Kanye album, and they're getting restless. And Life of Pablo. This album got delayed, I don't know how many times. I need to catch up with my Kanye history, but this album got delayed a lot. It got delayed a lot. It was delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2014. Then it's supposed to come out in 2015. It just kept going like that until it finally released in 2016. Which is only a couple years, but still. At the time, this was the Geometry Dash 2.2 for Kanye fans. It was nothing but something you'd make up in your own imagination. You'd be going to bed dreaming about Life of Pablo coming out the next day, only to find out it was still not out. So this album had a bit of a troubled history. But that only made it more exciting for Kanye fans and for hip-hop fans as a whole. Because 2016 is often seen as one of the best years for rap, period, and just one of the best. People kind of glaze 2016 as a whole. I was fairly young in 2016, so I can't have much of an opinion. But, I mean, 2016 was great for music. That's just a fact. So Kanye fans were ecstatic to find out that this was now coming out in 2016. There was a huge listening party that happened right before it came out, where Father Touch My Hands Part 2 got... It was truly a fan event for Kanye fans. This was big, all right? Life of Pablo was one of his biggest albums to date. And so it finally came out to very, very positive reviews. So what do I think of it? I also think it's pretty good. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to put it below Yeezus. Life of Pablo is a very, very, very solid album. It's very enjoyable. It has this very hype beast kind of feel, which kind of just encapsulates 2016 as a whole now that I think about it. But it's a very fun album to listen to, similar to Yeezus, like how those albums are just so fun to listen to. This one's fun. This one puts you in a good mood. There's just so many insanely cool tracks. Father Stretch My Hands, Part 2, or why do I keep saying Part 2? Father Stretch My Hands, Part 1. Obviously an incredible song. I mean, this song was huge when it came out. It just has some of the best Kanye production of all time. Then you got Saint Pablo, which is easily in his top 5 songs ever. That song could literally bring a grown man to tears. It's very emotional, very, very beautiful. But then you have some skips on there. Like, you have Facts, just some lesser than average Kanye songs that you wouldn't expect to be on an album as grand as Life of Pablo. And that's ultimately what brings it down a little bit. But on the flip side, you have Father Touch My Hands, St. Pablo, No More Parties in LA, which honestly has Kanye's best verses of all time. He even outshines Kendrick, which is crazy to do. So this album has some pretty high highs. I'm not going to say it has very low lows, but there's some low lows on here. There's just a lot of filler. The album could definitely be a couple tracks shorter than it is. It's not perfect, and I like Yeezus more simply for what it is. Life of Pablo was great. The hype building up to it was great. It's a great album, but it's not perfect. So it's staying in A tier, right behind Yeezus for now. Okay, now we're getting into the era of Kanye that, in my opinion, I think is the most underrated, and that's his summer 2018 run, man. It was historic. It was great. I don't know the exact timeline. All I know is that these were all released in like the span of like a week or two. But we got Kanye producing Pusha T's Daytona, which is a insanely great album. That album is amazing. And then we have Ye and Kids See Ghosts. Where's Kids See Ghosts? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, dang it, it's not on the tier list. Whatever. I might change tier lists in a second just because I need to rank Kids See Ghosts, but just 3 great albums, back to back to back. And I'm pretty sure it all kicked off with Ye. So what do I think of Ye? Easily Kanye's most underrated album. This album, it almost made me cry. I'm not going to lie. It is beautiful. It's only 7 tracks and it may be pretty short. It may just be kind of like a album Kanye threw out there when he was like going through a rough time, but it is like, I feel like it's very understated how just beautiful and emotionally potent this album is. It's 7 tracks of Kanye talking about his personal struggles with like bipolar depression, anxiety, his wife leaving him, just all of Kanye's flaws smashed into 7 tracks, and he beautifully articulates what is going through his mind on each track. And Ghost Town is his best song. I truly believe Ghost Town is his best song. It's my favorite Kanye song. That song got me through a pretty rough time, I'm not gonna lie. It definitely got me through a pretty rough time. It's just, like, this album is so underrated. In my opinion, there's no skips. I thought about Killing You. It's not the weakest, but, I mean, most of it's kind of just Kanye talking to himself. And then All Mine is pretty whack, but I would willingly listen to all 7 of these tracks on Ye. And I think if it was a little bit longer, this would honestly be above Graduation for me, but simply because of, well, All Mine and the fact that it's pretty short and that the production can be a bit wonky sometimes, it's going below Graduation. But do not get me wrong, this is S tier Kanye. Like, it's his most mature, deep, emotional album to date, and I cannot believe how many Kanye fans overlook that. This album is fucking great. It is so great. Now, unfortunately, Kids See Ghosts is not on this tier list, so I'm going to have to figure that out real quick. Okay, I just figured it out. It's pretty simple. You can actually just click, like, your own file, so yeah, there it is now. Okay. Kids See Ghosts is a masterpiece. It's great. It's really good. I actually think this album's better than Ye, and you just heard me gush over that album and how much I think it's underrated. I wouldn't call this album underrated. Everyone kind of knows it's on the upper echelon of Kanye's albums. Fantano gave it a fucking 10, and that's if he gives it a 10, then I mean, he's pretty picky. I'm not gonna lie, but everyone already knows how good this album is. I'm not gonna say it's underrated. It's a little bit overlooked, I feel like. I mean, for God's sake, it wasn't even on this tier list. But Kanye West and Kid Cudi have worked together in the past, and every time they did, they just made a hit. Like, their ability to just make bangers, emotional tracks, it should never be undermined. And this album fully proves that. This album's better than Ye. And like I said, you just heard me talk about how great it is. To me, it's Ye if it had more interesting production and a banger. Because Ye doesn't really have any bangers. This has bangers. Fourth Dimension. When was the last time you heard someone sample a song from like the 1930s? Crazy. Also, Kanye's rapping performance on Fourth Dimension, and honestly, on the album as a whole, probably some of his best rapping ever, period. But I'm mostly gonna compare this album to Yeezus, Life of Pablo, and Kiss, and yeah, I'm comparing it to these two. It's very fun to listen to. It's just 7 tracks. It's like 20 minutes long. Just throw it on Spotify while you're playing some, I don't know, Fortnite or something. It's a great album. It's just fun to listen to. It's deep, emotional. Kid Cudi is on it. I mean, what's not to love? It's just near perfect in my opinion. And even arguably the worst song on that album, which is the title track, "Kids See Ghosts," it's still a pretty big banger. It has very unique production. There's just not much to hate about this, honestly. If you hate this album, if you do, you're entitled to your own opinion, but please tell me why, because I honestly can't think of a single reason to dislike it. Okay, well, unfortunately, now that we've left the 2018 summer run of Kanye West, and now we're getting into some of his worst albums of all time. But we are starting with Jesus is King. This album is pretty controversial. It would be crazy to say it's not. This album splits Kanye fans down the middle. Just complete 50-50 split. There's people that love it and think it's a great display of Kanye's faith, and people that either find it boring or say it's just garbage and sounds weird. I'm in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the seat here for now. It's below Watch the Throne for me, but it's a strange album. It definitely is a strange album. Similar to how 808s and Heartbreaks and Ye kind of broke the traditional, and Yeezus traditionally like broke the traditional Kanye sound. This album does the same because it's a declaration of Kanye's faith and his religion, and to me that's pretty powerful. But the way he presents this album shows that he truly believes in God. He's a Christian. It's hard to say that nowadays with the things he's been doing, but at a time when he was still going through some stuff, and he just releases I think it's like 10 tracks long. I have to go look. 10 track long album, 10 to 12 track long album, just about his undying faith with some beautiful songs. You know, some fans are going to take it the wrong way, but others are going to like it. I appreciate the theme of the album. I think it's great. I think it's beautiful. And I'm happy for Kanye on this album. But on the other hand, it's just not that good. There's nothing on here that's particularly amazing. We have God Is and I think Follow God. Those are the only 2 songs I'd really consider to be good. God Is beautiful. It might honestly be a top 20, 25 Kanye song. And Follow God is literally just a minute and a half of straight just Kanye spinning for a minute and a half. I think it's his most underrated song of all time. But everything else is just like Closed on Sunday is one of his worst songs. It is ridiculous. I don't know how he sat down in the studio and made that fucking bullshit, but Closed on Sunday is stupid. I think he was a little hungry during that studio session talking about Chick-fil-A for that long, but whatever. It's just all around. There's just some stuff in here that's beautiful and a lot of stuff that works, but a lot of stuff that doesn't work. So for me, that's why it was below Watch the Throne and C tier. Okay, warning. This next take is going to be controversial. I've had some interesting takes on here so far, but nothing too crazy. This one's going to be the first one that's a little crazy. I think Donda is not that good. I know, Donda. I just couldn't get behind Donda. I'm sorry. I will definitely not overlook the fact that this album was dedicated to his late mother, and this was the last great thing Kanye made. Yes, I agree on that. You can see these other 2 demons staring me in the eyes over here. Donda was the last good album he made. And that's, in my opinion, I've seen Vultures, Glazers. I cannot believe they exist, but they do exist. But Donda, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful album. It's very emotional. It's dedicated to Kanye's mother. It has one of his best songs of all time. Like, literally, probably his second best song for me, which is Life of the Party. I feel like that song gets a little glazed too much because I prefer Ghost Town, but that's just me. You can prefer Life of the Party. I don't care. But I'm trying not to undermine the impact of this album. It's beautiful. It's just not for me. First of all, it is so fucking long. I do not like listening to this album. I've listened to it once, and I will never listen to it again. I might, but it's too long. It's like, keep in mind, I don't do well with long albums. This is something that I probably should have said earlier. I don't do well with long albums. Anything above like 20 tracks is too much. even like 19 is pushing it for me. The sweet spot for me is between like 8 and probably 14 or 15. That's the sweet spot. Anything above that is way too long. This album is long. The deluxe is almost 32 tracks. This album kills me. And it's even worse when, for me, half the songs are snooze fests. I want to like this album. I mean, I like this album, but I don't love it. And I want to love it, but I can't. It really blows my mind that everyone said that, not everyone. It blows my mind that there are people out there who claim this is his best album. I don't agree. I don't think it's bad. It's definitely not bad. That's a crazy thing to say, honestly, but it's not amazing. I think it's honestly a bit of a snooze fest, especially towards the middle. There's a lot of filler. Like, we do not need all those part 2 tracks. But then again, it is emotionally potent, and it has some of Kanye's most beautiful songs. So it's a very... There's good and there's bad. And unfortunately for me, the bad might overweigh the good. But the impact of this album for me is like... It almost is forcing me to put it in B tier. Putting anything below B tier is kind of crazy at this point, because everyone knows Kanye's far gone. He might not be one of those people from World War II anymore, but he certainly is not mentally well, and I don't think he ever will be ever again. So whenever you get an album, even like this, even if it's boring to me, there's value in it. It means something, and it's Kanye's last good album. Everyone always jokes that he died like right after it released and that he's been dead for a couple of years now. And if things keep going this way, that honestly might be the best way to look at his discography, because Vultures 1 and 2, I'm not going to do these together because they're honestly kind of different, but this is Kanye at his worst. If you think these albums are good, you are just the biggest glazer I've ever seen. Kanye changed my life. He's my favorite artist, but I cannot in good conscience call either of these good albums. And it's not even just because I'm like ashamed of Kanye. It's just bad. They're bad albums. I also held off on listening to these when I listened to Kanye's discography the first time. I thought, all right, I'm done with Donda, so I'm done. I'm going to do what every other Kanye fan does. I'm going to pretend that he died after 2021. He died after releasing Donda, and now he's just gone. So that is what I'm going to do. Or that is what I did until I went back and listened to them. I sucked it up. And I mean, yeah, they're dog shit. They're just both really, really bad. I was expecting... They're so bad, in fact. I was actually expecting, like, Vultures 1 more. Because everyone always says Vultures 2 is the worst he got. I don't know. I think Vultures 1 got pretty close. I was pretty surprised by just how bad Vultures 1 was. Because I've seen this album's fair share of defenders. My friend that I talked about earlier, he actually used to defend this album when it came out. But now we both just have the opinion that this is just true dog shit. Is it an F tier album? I don't know. I honestly think it's in between D and F tier. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make just Vultures 1s here. Because it's truly just on a league of its own. It's not unlistenable, but it's not good enough for D tier. So Vultures 1 gets its own rank. It's a true enigma of an album, really. But obviously we all know where Vultures 2 is going. Vultures 2 is Kanye West's worst album. It's bad. I mean, like, it wasn't even hard for me to accept the truth that it's bad. I just came out going, wow, that was absolute dog shit. And it is. Giving this album any credit is honestly kind of shameful. Because, especially with Vultures 2, this was made during the time when Kanye started to lose his mind a bit. So, there are some questionable lyrics on here. Some really questionable lyrics, especially on Vultures 1. Both the Vultures albums have some insane lyrics I don't even get into. I don't even want to... Never again with those. But I don't want to listen to these albums ever again. They break my heart as a diehard Kanye fan. They really do. I cannot stand Vultures 2. Vultures 1 is just bad, but Vultures 2 is so much worse. This was the death of Kanye. I just cannot with these albums. It makes me sad, but I almost forgot about Donda 2 because Donda 2 came out pretty recently. Here's Donda 2. Donda 2 is honestly not horrible. It's not that bad. People say it released in 2022, and technically it did, but, I mean, it re-released in 2024. Or not 2024. It re-released this year, I think. Yeah, it was this year. And is it good? I mean, no, it's not that good. but I was honestly expecting it to be way worse, and it wasn't that bad. I honestly want to put Donda 2 in its own tier as well, in between C and D, but just because of the time it came out and the fact that there's some real, most of this is skips, like a good 60% of it is just skips. Putting it anything other than D tier is honestly crazy to me. I don't know. If Donda was his last great album, this was his last album that had a little shimmer of hope in it. A little shimmer of hope that he could return and, do great things again like he did with the College trilogy with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yay, Yeezus, Life of Pablo. But it's safe to say he's almost gone. And I had a little bit of hope for him when he went on Twitter and he started apologizing for everything. I was like, oh, he might be back. He might be taking his meds, But then he released that album with Diddy's son. And fuck, man, I'm not ranking that on this tier list. Hell no, I'm not doing it. Honestly, somehow Vultures 2 is worse than it, but just because of what it is, I still think it's like an F tier. I'm not gonna rank it here though, because I don't feel like it. But Donda 2, it's not good, but it's the last album that had a chance of being good. There are some songs in here. There's it's very forgettable. I don't even remember half the songs, but Pablo was pretty good. There's one about a City of God was good, but that's about it. The opening track, True Love, was good, but there's just not much on here to love. So that's why it gets the D tier. Anyway, that about does it for my Kanye West tier list. Here it is. Here's the full tier list. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button. Give me a sub. I'll be making more videos soon, I promise. I don't make videos very often. I've been very busy lately. And if anyone saw my community post, I'm actually going to be moving next month, which is right around my birthday. So that's a nice birthday gift for sure. We've been packing for weeks already, but I apologize for not making very many videos. This will probably be my first video for quite a few months. But yeah, here's my Kanye West tier list. Tell me what you think of it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and that's about it. See ya.